Good morning. Today is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. It is 7:30 a.m. Council Chambers at City Hall, 1123 West Lake Street, Sandpoint, Idaho. It's the regular monthly meeting of the Sandpoint Urban Renewal Agency Board of Commissioners. For the record, I am Chairman Eric Paul, also presiding our President, Vice President Ken Perry, Commissioners Jason Welker, Ed Brandenberger, Youth Commissioner Kate McAllister. Kate has served on the commission before, so she's back for another go around. There's Marilyn on via.
No, she isn't.
Okay. And please note that Marilyn Spell is not. I'd also like to take a moment to express my gratitude to Tom McCoy for his years of service on the commission and to thank him for his dedication, professionalism, and positive impact he made during his tenure. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our December 2nd, 2025 meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Second, Commissioner Welker, motion. Commissioner Perry, second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Please note that Commissioner Sabella is now present. Good morning, Marilyn.
Look at Paula, geez.
No worries. Are there any members from the public in attendance? We will now move on to general reports and announcements. Do the commissioners have any questions regarding the financial report provided?
I believe this will be my last meeting as commissioner. Sure, if the mayor's been in touch with you. He's got a short list of appointees. That's me. So be back next. If I'm back, it'll be as a staff member. It's like I look forward to.
Well,
How could we have a replacing your term expiring?
Believe year in return. It's the mayor too. Big question for me.
okay. Take that as it moves forward. Thanks for the update, Jason. Next, I'll yield the floor to Project Manager Eric Bush. Regarding phase 3 of the downtown development. Eric, the floor is yours.
Good morning, commissioners. Eric Bush, project manager. Just wanted to provide you a brief update and take any questions on the status of downtown revitalization phase 3. So as I mentioned a month or two ago, we have engaged Welch Comer engineers for the design effort on phase 3. Welch Comer is underway with design. They've completed some survey work, geotechnical work, and are beginning to prepare conceptual layout sections and that sort of thing of the kind of phase 3 infrastructure and the layout of the road and pedestrian infrastructure and that sort of thing. So I will have some concepts to share perhaps next month at this meeting if you all would like to see them. I don't have anything official yet, but they are proceeding forward, and we expect basis of design. That's kind of where we're headed as far as the alignment of the road and conceptual intersection improvements and that sort of thing. We expect that in a couple weeks, and we're shooting towards a city council update on the February 18th meeting. So if you're interested, tune into that meeting and you'll have some more details outside of this meeting. Our intention there is to, get feedback from city council and followed potentially by our first technical advisory group meeting shortly thereafter, get feedback from that group, and then kind of determine our path forward as far as the road alignment, intersection improvements, that sort of thing. So we'll have some options to consider at that time. After that, Welch Comer will be proceeding to kind of the 30% design level, which is the next iteration of advancement in the design, following quickly by 90 and 100% design. So our intention is to be complete with design by July of this year and be bidding and under construction right after Labor Day. We have also applied for 2 grants. One is the CDBG grant. That's if we're awarded that would be $650,000, and that the scope of that grant is site amenities and trees. So site amenities meaning trash cans, picnic benches, streetlights, that sort of thing, bike racks. And the other grant we've applied for is LTAC Small Urban. LTAC is the ITD group, Local Highway Technical Assistance Council is what it stands for. And that grant was for 1.8 million. And that is for the Bridge and First intersection, and it will likely extend to Church and First, so kind of that that whole little corridor there. That project specifically was applied for because in the Bonner County Area Transportation Plan, that intersection improvement was ranked highest in their ranking, and the BCAT, Bonner County Area Transportation Plan, and that group has supported our grant application. So we're waiting to hear on that as well. We expect to hear from both of those groups in a couple months, or perhaps as early as next month. And we'll have an idea of if we've been funded for either of those grants. So if we're successful, that gives us a lot more kind of flexibility with our project. And it may affect the project schedule, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Beyond that, I threw a lot of information at you in just a couple of minutes. Any questions?
So I have a couple.
Sure.
What's the estimated total cost of the engineering design and then the total project cost?
We don't have an estimated total project cost at this time because Welch Comer just kind of initiated design. The engineering design that we engaged Welch Comer for was approximately 750,000. If you give me a sec, I could pull up the exact number if you want to.
So you don't have an estimated budget, what's going to cost the whole project before you engage the engineer?
We have kind of high level cost estimates of approximately 4 million. But that varies depending on a lot of different factors. So we'll have a tighter cost estimate as we get closer to the 30% design level. That's when Welch Comer would be preparing that first estimate.
And then how far are you going down first?
The intention is to get to Lake Street right now. We are also doing to a 30% design level to Superior Street. And that would include those kind of intersection improvements at Superior and First. And the intention of engaging that design is to allow us to go after funding for the rest of the First Avenue corridor. If we show that, we have a design, conceptual design in the works at the 30% level, and future funding opportunities, that gives you kind of a leg up and shows that you're committed to completing that project. So we made that goal or made that effort to design to that level there to allow us to go after additional funding.
So when would you expect that next phase down to Superior to occur?
It depends on what grant opportunities we might come across.
So you're aware this agency expires 2029?
Yes, I am.
Question or two, Eric, what's our line item for this project? For money?
Oh,
While you're looking at that up, Eric, failing to get that $650,000 grant, what's your fallback for lights, which are important, bike racks, some of those other amenities?
We'd still include that if we weren't successful in the grant application. We would have to make some decisions at that point, and make some decisions meaning we may not be able to get as far as Lake Street, for example, if that funding were not to come through. Our intention is to include those amenities regardless. We don't want a half-done project or a project done without the really important things of street lighting, benches, trash cans, bike racks, that sort of thing. So we would include it regardless, but it might result in a little bit shorter project scope.
Mr. Chairman, Holly Ellis, Public Works Director.
yes.
Point of clarity, when we applied for these applications, it wasn't a result of lack of funding. It was more of an initiative of trying to stretch our dollars. This is a scalable project. So we are rebuilding a roadway, in this case, First Avenue. We'd like to make it as far south as we can. we can pick up our project where we left off at Church Street. And with our preliminary budgetary numbers, $4 million, it appears we can get to Lake Street. With these grant opportunities, it just provides us flexibility to get further south. So the CDBG grant that Eric described, 650,000, if we're successful in getting that grant and using that for those amenities, we can either get further south on this project or reallocate those SURA dollars for another project. It just provides for opportunities. Our intent is to get all the way to Lake Street with all of those full street improvements. But again, just trying to stretch those dollars with those grants.
To Commissioner Perry's question, we have budgeted for design and acquisition, whatever acquisition is $1.823 million this year's fiscal year budget.
Nothing more next year. And Holly, to that point, would it be fair to say, what, if I heard you correctly, that city's got $4 million allocated in your budget to go towards this project?
I believe we have 2 million in this fiscal year, and maybe I'm off in thinking it's the 1.8, and then our intention was to budget for next year around 2 million.
Next year starting October 1st. We have nothing going past this year.
And Eric, to get a little bit more detail, the contract with Welch Comer was 741,700. A little less than the 750.
Thank you, Eric. Any further questions of Eric or Holly? Commissioners?
Yeah, quick question on, so this is phase 3. We completed phase 1 and 2. How much of that design work, engineering work, whatever, can you duplicate and carry forward and not have to pay to replicate that in this process?
As far as the layout, meaning what you see, as a pedestrian or driver, we intend to mimic the majority of that. We're not talking wholesale changes of, we will have seat walls, like we do in phase 1 and 2. We'll have brick pavers, similar type things. So a lot of that work will just be carried forward. There are some kind of lessons learned type things that we're pulling out of phase 1 and 2, meaning things that were installed that, for example, the seat walls along Cedar, a couple of those have failed and have, experienced some damage from plows and that sort of thing. So we'll be tweaking those materials a bit for, durability sake. But the majority of phase 3 will pretty much look like phase 1 and 2. As far as how much of the design we can kind of steal, or, that may not be the right term, but utilize for phase 3. A lot of the work is kind of site specific, with survey and the road width and the intersection improvements. So that's the major effort that we have to engage in with this design.
Thanks.
Any further questions on phase 3, commissioners? All right. Thank you, Eric and Holly. Only item under old business is the selection of a board member for the Downtown Revitalization Phase 3 Citizens Advisory Committee. And yield the floor to Project Manager Eric Bush.
Commissioners, we had discussed this at your last meeting in December, and I think there was a couple of folks absent, so it was postponed. But I'll give a brief rundown for Kate's sake as a new member. The technical advisory group, the intention of that is to have a member of each of the city's citizen committees and commissions, and SURA included, as well as some local business owners and other, kind of folks that have a stake in the downtown phase 3 project. 2 of the members, for example, are business owners in the corridor. So we want insight there, but the intention is to have about 3 meetings throughout the project period. One coming up likely later this month or in early March. One, halfway through design, and then one as we get closer to construction, or maybe once we've started construction. And to get feedback on the design, get feedback on, the kind of installation portion, the construction portion. we realize this is a really impactful project for, the downtown businesses, particularly the ones that are directly in front of this project, and we want to make sure we're as accommodating as possible and not affecting their day-to-day business as much as we can, of course, given that there's, construction going on. But that's the basic rundown of what the group is intended to be. As far as meeting locations and that sort of thing, we haven't nailed that down yet. There's a possibility that they could be in this room or in the larger room upstairs. We could look at a different location as well, but that's kind of what we intend the group to be. We'll have a handful of staff members at these meetings as well, and a representative from Welch Comer, and one of Welch Comer's sub-consultants is the Langdon Group, who is they're experts in kind of public relations and coordination and communication from construction projects. They're a subsidiary of JEB Engineers, who is also doing some of the traffic component work on the project design. So we've got a great team here, and we intend to communicate, and we hope that the folks that are a member of this group can be kind of advocates for the project and disseminate information, what's going on, that sort of thing, to their local networks as well.
Any commissioner wants to volunteer? I do not.
I will.
Anyone else?
You're in. Thank you for volunteering.
Sure.
So Kate,
I love my downtown businesses.
what, I didn't hear what you said.
I said I love my downtown businesses.
So Kate has, expressed her desire to be the, Downtown Revitalization Phase 3 Committee member on behalf of SURA. Accept the nomination. Since she volunteered, I would say that's a yes. Motion to accept this. So moved. Jason,
Second.
Bella, second.
Excellent.
Any other nominees? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes, and Kate has been selected or elected as Downtown Revitalization Phase 3 Committee member. Congratulations, Kate.
Thank you very much.
Very excited.
All right, we'll move on to new business and requests from Timberline Helicopters for public improvements. I'll now introduce Tyson Davis, Timberline. We can have Tyson come up here and share. I do have to make an announcement that I am in a business relationship with Timberline Helicopters. I'll be engaged in discussions, but I can't vote.
Thank you, Eric.
Good morning, Tyson.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you. Thank you for having me back. Timberline Helicopters, as you know, has started our large project over there for our new facility. We are at a critical point now where phase 2 has been accomplished and phase 3 needs to begin, and that's bringing some of the principal utility and commercial lines down with water and electrical. So there is a phase 3 project that we've asked for some funding from SURA for $396,000 to finish that, which we would give up some of our property for enhancements of the road, East Mountain View, to connect and bring it around to Industrial Drive so that we don't have to dead hammer that end of the project, and adds more workflow and traffic to that process. Our phase 1, which is our 50,000 square foot hangar, we have most of the steel on site, and that should be going up as soon as we can have our duck season in and the water start to drain. So we're at a critical point where it's the request for it. We've actually increased our budget by over $1 million just to meet the needs of the business. And since this announcement, and since this project began, we have been able to secure more contracts and more business opportunities. That's going to increase the business as far as personnel that we're going to hire. Tagging along that with the Idaho Economic Advisory Council, when we did that process and it was approved to hire 24 people. At this point, we're almost at that critical mass already because of the growth with this facility and where we're heading. So,
So are you saying you've already hired 24?
we've hired 20 of 24. Wow. So yeah, and we're busting at the seams. If anybody's drove by Industrial Drive and looked at our facility, we have helicopters sitting outside in the rain and helicopters sitting on the ramp, and we are out of space. So we are excited about phase 2, which is our fleet shop that grew exponentially with the support of hopefully this project upgrading the main road, that we'll be able to start housing stuff and get a limited certificate of occupancy so we can actually start doing more work. We are.
So
at a very
Tyson, would you explain what Timberline does for the
Sure.
group that doesn't understand? And then we'll talk about where his site is and the road improvements.
Yeah. So Timberline Helicopters was established in 2004 by the ownership of Amy and Brian Jorgensen. And their thought concept was to use helicopters to do logging. And that's literally what they did. So as husband and wife, they bought a K-Max helicopter, which is still part of our fleet today. And they flew 2,300 hours the first year, Brian did himself. And so from that inception, we have created a business that there's 4 business models located in Sandpoint, which a lot of people don't know and don't have an idea about. So the first part of our business is we have a helicopters operational division where we fly 6 aircraft. We have 4 Blackhawks and 2 K-Max helicopters. We do construction work. We do utility work. We are the main provider of ski lift construction work in the United States and Canada, and as well as we do the U.S. Forest Service firefighting. And so all of our aircraft are put on fires when the fire season starts, and we do that until the fire season is completed, and then we go back to our utility construction work. We are global. So right now we have an aircraft in Chile firefighting. We have 2 aircraft on the East Coast. We have 2 aircraft in California and 1 in Texas. And so we are out there doing jobs for customer needs and continue to grow that database. Our intent is to add 4 more aircraft to the fleet because of this facility that we're putting up, because then we'll be able to house bigger facility, more people, more personnel, more aircraft. That's part 1.
Sorry, how many of those 6 are located at Sandpoint?
They're all homed, basically they're based out of Sandpoint,
Mhm.
but they're a field traveling team. So we have a field truck, we have a service van, we have a service truck, and we have the aircraft and the flight crew, and they just gnome and roam to wherever the jobs are that we're up.
But they all return here for service, basically. So the service crew is all located.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. And most of them, I would say about 70% live locally. The other 30% commute in to Spokane, drive to Sandpoint, and then go from here. And so our major maintenance processes typically happen in the wintertime. They've already been accomplished for this year. So that's why all the aircraft are back out the door. And so the only aircraft we have sitting back is a spares part aircraft for that department. So that's part 1 of 4 processes. So the second phase that's really critical to this growth and where we're headed is we have a FAA approved Part 145 repair station. And so with that capabilities list and that scope of work, that repair station is the nucleus of these large projects that we have, which we are modifying, conform, and returning to service surplus military aircraft, UH-60s from the U.S. Army. And so a customer, whether it's in the United States or globally, internationally, makes a request, puts in a tender, and then we meet that tender requirement, and then we build the project for them. And so they give us a scope of work, and we go from there. And so we acquire the airframes and put a bit of debt load on us to pre-plan and prepare and have the aircraft available. The flip side of that is that in the awarding of these contracts, I can say that Timberline has been awarded 4 tenders with 9 aircraft. And I just got the verbal confirmation this morning that we were awarded another contract for the country of Bangladesh. So we're going to deliver 4 Blackhawks to them, which means that will be 13 to be delivered by 2028. On top of that, we have another group of tenders that will equal 19 aircraft to be delivered by 2030. So lots of good problems. And so that's the new bread and butter on helicopters and where we're going. So we'll modify the airframe to their demands and likes. Some of them right now currently in work. We have one that's going to the country of Spain. It is going to be the first US registered, which I say N registered Blackhawk in Europe. And so myself and the owner from Spain, we've spent about 75 hours in front of the European Commission and EASA getting the approval, because no Blackhawk actually operates in the civilian sector in Spain, or excuse me, in Europe. And so we just got that done. I just returned last Wednesday from Spain with that approval. And so we are brokering the path of taking Blackhawks civilly to Europe, which is huge for firefighting, because Spain is one of the worst countries for firefighting. They have civilian tenders like we do in the United States, and they don't have enough aircraft to support. So his projection and goal is to acquire 5 more. So once the first one kicks off and we get through a successful season, he'll put another tender in for 5. So as you can see, this rolling snowball of chaos, it's just, we get 1 out, we get 2 out, and everything comes to fruition. The other 2 projects we currently have is we're sending 2 aircraft retrofitted to the country of Colombia, for the United States, or for the Colombian Army. And then the other 2 are Kern County, California. And so we're working with United Rotorcraft to make those high landing gear fixed 1,000-gallon firefighting aircraft and make them specifically for the firefighting mission. So And that's one of the bread and butter of this facility is we need the square footage, because right now we have 5 aircraft in work and we have enough for about 2 spots. We're got enough room, we're getting it done, but we're playing basically in the lighter term of roulette with hangars and aircraft and parts and moving things around. And so this will really be instrumental to our process. The other 2 parts of this will be quick and furious. We have an aerospace division that certifies and manufactures STC parts. They're located down on the Ontario Street, and they're right next to the the new city or the county building. So that yellow building to the side with all the field trucks and all the craziness, that's because all that equipment had to be moved from our build site and go down there. But that's where our aerospace and fleet shop are. So our aerospace division, like I said, manufactures parts for the FAA for STC requirements and for customers that have a hard time getting equipment and parts for their airframes. Their side of it is our fleet shop that's attached there, the operational division that services all the trucks and trailers. And then the last part of our business unit is we still have a heli logging division. So we still have chokers, setters, sawyers, cutters, timber fellers, everything. And right now they are currently in Slateville, California, working on a project for the state of California. So that team of 39 is down there right now felling trees. That project's to go for another 4 or 5 months. They'll return back to Washington for a few months over on the west side, and then back down to the Dorchak Reservoir starting in October, November after fire season. So those are our 4 business units that we have. When I first got to Timberline Helicopters, we had roughly 93 people. Peeled that onion back within a year and reduced the staff by 26. As of today, I think we're sitting at 113 or 114. So the business is booming. We're growing very, very much. We're growing at a rate that is manageable for the moment, but I'm working with Idagon, and we're trying to get the building going so that we can find different places to do different projects. So that's the big scope and purview of what Timberline Helicopters is. And what the future holds with all of that is we have a total request of 19 more aircraft internationally. The country of Thailand would like 9. I just got the confirmation, like I said, about Bangladesh for 4, but we're also building some for other countries in Europe. So once that first aircraft goes to Europe and it's approved to get through fire season, I really think that's going to kick the doors down. And the nice part about that is that the repair station for Timberline Helicopters has a STC that makes us the OEM of a Timberline Helicopter Blackhawk, and that's the only one approved in Europe. So right now we kind of have a little feather in our cap that nobody else can do it.
So Tyson's request is city's request for a road improvement. So Tyson, if you would show the commissioner where the required improvement is and the expected benefit to the city.
Yeah, so this is our property right here. And so the improvement will start right about here, and we'll reduce our property and give it to the city by about 15 feet. And then we'll improve from here down to here, right to where the airport process begins. This Mountain View Road, a lot of construction and buildings going on here. So it's getting very, very difficult to come in here, and the trucks are not understanding that they can actually get through to Industrial Drive. This is a city road that's approved for future that can be finished, and then that allows access to the airport process. It is gated all the way along here, so nobody can actually get into the airport, but that's lifelike. And so improving this process all the way down is going to add the opportunity and enhancements of the airport processes. So from this point, we'll have the main entrance here. Many of you have taken the moment to go see the facility or the project, but Fleet Shop is sitting right here. And then there's another road entrance that we're going to keep. And then there will be future build sites or Quonset huts or steel structures that will go here. And this phase of it right here is the improvement side that we're looking at for support.
Thank you. Thank you, Tyson. Commissioners, any questions or comments regarding the request from Timberline?
Tyson, you might have said this new facility would accommodate how many airframes?
It could accommodate 16 Blackhawks at one. Yeah. Our goal is to actually attain some CH-47s and actually diversify our portfolio. And waiting for the U.S. government to release those airframes. I have a contract in place with Boeing to go back and retrofit those aircraft on behalf of Boeing. And then part of that project, they will give me 4 of them to use for the business. It's kind of the business aspect of it. That airframe doesn't have an ATC to operate in the United States. And so we will work with the manufacturer to build that. So you look at it with blades on, with blades off. We can do 3 Chinooks in the hangar with blades on, or we could do 16 Blackhawks with blades off in the hangar. And, obviously that'd be stacked like sardines, but where we're going, what we're trying to do, that's a feasible process that's going to happen.
How many employees do you have working in Sandpoint, right?
We have about 68.
68?
Yeah. Yep. The group, the majority of them right now are deployed for working for other utility companies.
So they're working out of town. And then what is an A&P mechanic mean?
Depends on years of experience and proficiency,
What's a range?
anywhere between 68 to 140,000.
Okay. And then the rest is like administrative and that kind of thing?
Administrative, support staff, as far as like,
And what do they make?
that's really good. So they make, I would say the range, probably is about 40, maybe 48 to 225,000, depending on the level of responsibility they have inside the organization.
So there's about 68 people working there between spot out there on Industrial Drive and on Ontario.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. At this moment, but that changes on
And then-
every given day.
And what about vendors? Local vendors?
We have, well, as far as the local community, we lean on several people for things because, we're building and manufacturing stuff that we need for different departments. So for vendors, do I have a critical idea what that is? Off the top of my head, no, but I do know I see lots of invoices from local agencies that we use things for. So I don't have a really exact idea, at this moment for you.
Okay. And who else benefits from this road besides Lifelight? And does Lifelight own that hangar?
That is a great question. It's on airport property, so I would say no. I would guess it might
So it's
would be
leased.
leased. Yeah. Yeah. I would say I would say as far as who's going to benefit from this, I think ultimately everybody in the community there is going to benefit from it because the buildings in the middle and the project in the middle that's going on, you can't get through there with access. There's no accessibility. They have it cut off saying do not traffic through. And then I'll just go up here and show you. So
Coming down.
both airport way and leading to industrial these are unable and inaccessible for us to go through. And in order for us to move stuff, and we have 53-foot long trailers that we put our aircraft on, making this turn radius and going here and going around is almost impossible. And so what we're doing is we're increasing the bandwidth here and turning it into a quadruple gate so that we can actually drive the 53-footer through here and turn into the backside of the facility. Additionally, homes being built and more construction, commercial buildings are going here. And there needs to be an improvement of this road all the way around for better workflow methods and traffic. Because right now, even some of the things that we've had the department come out, fire department, everything come through and access and look at everything. They highly recommend as well that we connect industrial to Mountain Drive for everybody to understand the same accessibility logic process of that area.
But not improving that road, what appears to be a road, that's still usable for your organization?
It's a dirt road, and the airport right now is just kind of laying vehicles and things across here. If it was actually improved all the way through, then the setbacks and everything would be more critical for us to be able to use that access point to get through there. So what I do right now is I have to go to the ownership group of the people in the middle here, and I ask them politely if our trucks can actually drive and go through there and get in there with access. So, and even to the further point, the road has been improved here and the turn radius isn't still capable for us to do that. So the intent was to widen this over here to make sure that we can get our trucks in, because we do, when we acquire the airframe from the government, it comes on a 52-foot flatbed trailer. And so we go down to Alabama and acquire it and then bring it back here and offload it. So what we used to do is take our really large excavator and tear up the road, which it's still a possibility, bring it out here and lift the black off of the trailer and then have the truck just take off. And so what would happen is that we would block Boyer essentially, and he would back the truck all the way down in here. And it became really inconvenient and kind of chaotic. So the intent of doing that is to, obviously there's a benefit for Timberline helicopters, but the long-term aspect of it is that, effectively connecting the link between industrial and airport and Mountain View Road and merging Airport Way will actually be super beneficial for everybody.
You currently own the industrial own.
That's lease property.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything that we have in Sandpoint because of what the ownership's thought process was. That, like I said before, this process really started for Timberline Helicopters back in 2015. We actually bought land in Rathdrum because we weren't getting support that we wanted initially. And then we took a step back and wanted to analyze it. And we even thought about moving outside the state because, we travel everywhere with our aircraft. So when we were able to get this property and have this opportunity to connect the airport, we already have the easement for it. So it's very easy for us to have the access. We've already got it approved. The long-term benefit of this is making sure that everything for us in this community has the same understanding of logic that we're trying to do. And we'll obviously work together with everybody for that process because we have power and everything sitting here. You get it to here, that's going to increase some of these capabilities for three-phase power and increase their opportunity for expanding their process as well. Because right now, Life Fight's pretty restricted and hamstrung as far as gaining utility and access. So improvements here would be beneficial. And then out in front of our place, there's a couple spots, another hangar.
Well, that's airport land, it looks like to me.
Which one?
And those leases where the hangars could be built, I don't see any private land out there. Are you talking about on your land?
On my land's private.
On your land, okay. So it benefits you, and then Big Creek Land Company, which is Monogram Homes, they're gonna build flex space all through there. Which is, that's good for the community.
Well, and right now, all of this is just left untamed and wild. Like there's no landscaping, there's nothing. And so nobody's really maintaining this part of this process down here. And even when you get up here, they've hammered out the concrete. So there's going to be some rework necessary by them to finish that process as well.
That's all going to be reinstalled.
Right. So then, so Big Creek. So then this would be able to connect all the way down and have a walking path down there. And the sidewalk finishes right here.
So right here, it's the beginning of county property. There's no
Right.
actual right of way continuing around here. Again, so I wonder if there needs to be a conversation about possible.
That's the
dedication.
thing.
Well,
And
but the city owns the property to the east.
We own this.
So you own the green
There's no-
space too.
there's no,
Jason, you own clear to the road,
we own everything between here.
to the airport.
You own this as well.
You own that too.
That's county. This is actually being developed as the new FBO right now.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Building.
Right, Andy Berry, so, sorry.
Yeah. So that's,
So there are going to be, thank you, Haley. There are going to be frontage improvements done as part of this project all the way here, including sidewalk and widening of the vehicle travel lane there, but I believe, isn't there a gate somewhere around here, Jackson?
There's no gate. There's a gate going to the airport. But
To the airport.
Yeah, it goes across here.
So when I came and checked out this site the day that I toured your facility. We drove through here, but you're definitely not crossing the property.
Correct. So that makes it extremely challenging.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense from a development standpoint east of the airport to have a grid system here that doesn't require driving out to Boyer to get, from, currently the only authorized route from Airport Way to East Mountain View is via Boyer. You can cut through the Chica Medical city owned, but it's not a JED. You can cut through the airport, but that's also not.
So it does help.
so and then the airport fueling is right there. Is that gonna move?
The what?
The fueling for aircraft, that's right there on the county land, right?
Is
Where
what's
the
being
road-
built by Granite Aviation. There's going to be a new fueling. Let's see. That's county owned, plus by. There's a whole site plan and a whole improvement. This property. Process right now.
So are they gonna improve the road? Well, the county owned property.
Only here, so this will all be,
So they're not required to approve the county.
not on this side, because it's not an access, well, that's not the frontage is on. For this property.
So there's no guarantee that that's actually gonna be an improved road between where it ends at Timberline and comes around. That's real.
It's not. Unless it becomes a road.
Right.
The county
So that's
dedicated is right.
And the county could build hangars there or whatever, so that road just, it's gonna go down and basically end at Timberline, or there's gonna be a hammerhead not gonna, possible, it could benefit no one. Beyond, once it hits the edge of Timberline.
Well, there's no space to hammerhead down there because you're gonna take out like flights, parking spaces, and you're gonna take away from Mr. Barry trying to improve the FBO area. There's no way to do any sort of hammerhead down there.
Unless it was on your property.
But then that's gonna impede the process of rejuvenating that road and trying to get it to connect and asking for further support from the county to extend that road and benefit everybody's process. Because Mr. Barry's probably gonna ask for the same thing because he's gonna want to, if he's building a future FBO, he's gonna want clientele and traffic as well. And then we have currently worked together on the airport with 3 other facilities to house our equipment. So I'm sure it's gonna be just as mutually beneficial for him as well to see that be connected at a third point in time. I mean, I can't see him building something there and investing and then having a dirt road that's full of potholes not be improved at a certain point in time.
We participated in this other building.
Yep.
And what will happen to the current?
The current FBO, and when does he have some sort of timeline when he's gonna build the next FBO?
I don't know, sir.
Like I said, they've got a development application that's been in process for like a year now. I just think seems to be paused. They haven't been in, they haven't responded to comments from our team. So, not sure what the situation is with Granite Aviation right now, but that project has been on pause for months. But I think the best outcome for the future improvements and developments on the east side of the airport would be for down to industrial full grid here. And then in that case, there could be a greater benefit than just Timberline for these frontage improvements. But
But if we got the infrastructure in place on both the north and south, so you got industrial, or, excuse me, then that one end piece is the last little kicker, right? Is there any other discussion? Request for funding public improvements. $396,000 on Mountain View.
What's the SUR board's role here? Just to make a recommendation to council about whether this is a worthwhile allocation?
We
Well,
make that
it's
decision.
We make that decision.
It's our decision. If they want us to fund it, it's our decision. Ceremony is independent of council.
What's the total cost and how much is that? The 395.
At 396.
396. Yep.
Water.
That's water, electrical, sewer, everything, and then that includes sidewalks and improvements, and then it's gonna be furnished with trees and landscaping and everything. It's gonna be as if you would like to see it in the community, right? Whatever additionally in that swell, if you want to park chairs, whatever. I mean, really, people are gonna be drawn to there because that's where we're gonna do a lot of the run-ups with our Blackhawks, our helicopters. So people are going to be able to see what's going on in there, right? And so it'll be controlled to a certain extent, but they'll be able to watch us do, demonstrations and long line lifting or setting pedestals out there to do training with.
But there's nowhere to turn around. If you're there to drive down that road, you're gonna turn around because there's no road. That's a dirt parking lot. They're gonna have to either turn around on your property or turn around in the middle of the road, right?
Yes, but currently everybody's using that county road as a process.
But it's a parking lot, correct?
It's not even a parking lot. It's just a pile of dirt. Yeah. And the airport's actually using it to put their rental cars. That's those vehicles that are out there in the dirt right now.
So you're saying if people come up here,
I don't think they can. I think that's basically, there's rental cars and can they even get through there?
Yes, they can.
Okay, but that's county property. It's not a road. Really?
No, but if this is going to be
It's a
improved,
dirt access.
yeah, I mean, but if this is going to be improved, there's going to be needed improvements here. And there is the airport fence that connects across here and goes like this. So the airport is secured and controlled. And so they're already parking their vehicles already here. to connect this dot and to improve Mr. Berry's future processes. And this road, everything's gonna come down and you can just connect that U shape and then the sidewalk connects and ends right here. So it just seems logical for everything to be finished there. You know, that's gonna help Sandpoint in general, not having a dirt parking lot, roads parked at dirt road. It's just gonna be a paved road and then everybody can use it. Even talking about like the FedEx and UPS trucks, they literally go all the way around now. I've seen them do it, or they cut through here and there is signs on both these places that say do not use as a thoroughfare. So they've restricted us from going through there.
So to remind the commission, we did public improvements to this building, which the city owns, the tenant.
Yeah.
Get it, you scroll up a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Go ahead. Or down. They couple bit. So we also put all the public improvements. Site. The site. Site. So we actually put them in because they were county owned. Go down, what was county? Or see the sidewalk? We did that. So you did improvements back here. So when we talk about what we've done historically, and also if you go up to Great Northern and Woodland. On.
Very finicky, sorry.
No worries. So this housing development is in the ground and done. We paid for. But just kind of letting you know how the commission is funded by the public partnerships. We've done it before. Or what's the benefits, right? And that's one of them.
I think what we're asking for is very, very small. We're willing to commit and give up some of the property so there can be an enhancement, there'll be better improvements. But looking at the big picture of what we're doing for Sandpoint, I mean, we chose this location to remain home because I'm an Idaho native and the ownership group is an Idaho native as well. And being able to give back to the community by having these jobs, by having all these resources, by having this business here, growing it the way we are, you know, the 24 of the jobs that we needed from the Idaho Advisory Council was the beginning phases of where we're going. And we're not done and we won't be done. And so, you know, being able to reinvest in the communities, people are gonna have to buy homes, they're gonna live here. There are gonna be more business opportunities growing because we're building these aircraft. They're not being built in Bangladesh or not being built in Thailand. They're being built in Sandpoint and we will deliver them globally. So the future of what we're doing is where we're gonna go. This is just beginning phases of where we're gonna be.
So I look at this, now it's irrespective of that road because that's way beyond our conversation and solution points, but just to what you said, and I don't know of any other businesses that are bringing in that many jobs at that pay scale. And that's sorely what our community needs is people that are able to buy homes. I mean, hell, even at $140,000, buying a home in Sandpoint still might be a stretch. But you're moving in the right direction. You're bringing people that are going to probably stay with you for a long time. So on to that end, I would move that we say yes to the $396,000 request to improve the road.
There's a motion by Commissioner Perry to approve the 396,000 for public improvements for the Timberline project. There are seconds.
Second.
Commissioner McAllister. Seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I would just add that I think a further conversation perhaps with the county is needed about the viability of right of way between East Mountain View and industrial. To make this truly beneficial, I think there's got to be beyond just Timberline's benefit. I think there needs to be future access to those businesses, including Life Flight, the new FBO, and to solidify your access. So you're not, trespassing and getting from one of your facilities. Are you keeping the facility further south when the new one is open?
The one that we're currently on industrial, we're gonna actually release ourselves
You're
from that
releasing
one, but right inside the airport gate. We own 2 hangars in there that's gonna have access. And so for us to get, and if you bring up, if I might add just one more thing that I just brought up, if you bring up Haley D and Matt. So in this, in our storage facility that we have, the long-term vision is that we're gonna be housing maybe 30 to 40 Blackhawks in surplus for future use. And so when we have this access here, we would be able to turn right out of it and come down this road and connect here, go in, and if you just come down a little bit further. This was improved. This is the gate access to the airport. This was improved for Timberline helicopters to move aircraft from the FAA approved helipad street. We own this hangar. We rent this hangar for Mr. Barry, and we have 2 more. We have this right here rented. And so we're going to need extra places to store aircraft. And so I built the facility with an exit strategy on the road off of Mountain View to be able to tug an aircraft down, keep going up, to tug an aircraft down and take it to long-term storage down on the airport, park them and store them. Because we'll do it. We'll take them up to the main hangar, we'll strip them, we'll get them ready for modification, and then we'll park them and house them while we do all of the integral component work for the airframe. So having this access be finished in the future will be critical, because then we don't have to go out here with a 3-mile-an-hour tug and tug the aircraft around and down whichever way is possible.
What does it mean to tug?
I'm pulling the aircraft with a motorized vehicle. So
It's on wheels.
it's on wheels. The Black Hawk is on wheels.
Okay, so it's just moving by its own wheels.
Yeah.
So have you had to do that, carry direct tugging aircraft out in the Boyer? Or
And the last time we did it, we actually called and got traffic control. That cost me $3,000, and it took about 9 minutes of work. I don't get involved in Boyer traffic. We already know it's crazy enough with the train tracks and all the stuff that goes on. It would just be very simple to have that logic to be able to just go in.
are you even able to tug it across the gravel?
So we're using the 53-footer
So
and
there's a sizable benefit. Actually, dedication.
yeah, that future. Yeah, and then it's gonna be beneficial for everybody over here, because this is a dirt road. Multiple access points and everything for everybody else as well. So it's not just about Timberline, and how we're helping the community is important, but the other aspect of it is that the community, Mr. Berry's gonna have an FBO. There's possibilities of him having aircraft and things here. He's gonna want to do the same thing that we're doing as well. And Life Flight, when everything is all done and modified up here, it's gonna improve their process as well. Because right now they're coming down here, going through construction, it turns into dirt right here, and this is where the dirt starts. And then nothing is maintained coming down this direction. When we had that windstorm the other day, my team actually went out there and cleaned up the road. So we did the work, like we're doing. So we don't mind doing it. I mean, looking at this as a mutual benefit for both organizations. So if it requires us to take care of that, that's what we'll do as well.
Any further comments? We have a motion to approve. We have a second. All for vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Wait, I recuse myself.
Say no.
So we have Commissioner Perry, Brandenberger, McAllister, Sabella in favor, Commissioner. Yeah, keep out to the board now, Welker. Opposed, and Commissioner Paul recused. Most. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
I
everybody.
do, yeah, and I do think it's important to note, Commissioner Welker's thoughts of having discussion. Somebody has to initiate discussion. County, and that I think should be maybe city should get involved with the county and the property owners. And Barry at Grant.
I think the opportunity for that will, as the FBO application comes back to us.
Yeah, and there's no reason why Sir can't participate in that as well, right?
And I will definitely stay connected and support that process as well, because we rent 3 hangars for Mr. Barry as it is. So it's not like we don't communicate or have an idea.
Yeah.
So strengthening our process will be strengthening his process as
There
well.
might come an opportunity for you to speak with the county as well about the economic benefit of having a connection.
Yeah, it will be critical. Dead hammering, putting a hammer in there and doing that, you're restricting everything. You're going to put a hole in our process. Additionally, our well is right on the corner of that property, and we're pulling water from there. So that's going to be the access point to be able to get up the main and where we already have that process put in. So that would actually take us further. But I appreciate everybody.
So the nuts and bolts of this is Timberline would pay for the improvements and we would reimburse back the $396.
Correct.
Once the city's signed up on the public improvements.
Correct.
So it'd be a reimbursement.
Yep. And we've already committed over $3 million to this project already of our own personal funds since May 22nd, when we had the groundbreaking ceremony. So we've already invested with the builder Idagon and already gone through the processes. So we're at a very critical junction here where we're ready to go to the next level. So anyways, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Next, we'll move on to a request from the Sandpoint Arts and Culture Historic Preservation Commission for its approval to allocate $3,500 of Surrey downtown funds to the Silverback project. Commissioner McAllister did ask a question if she can vote on this, and yes, she can, because public art money is the commission. It's not.
Okay.
It's the different type than what we just dealt with.
Okay, thank you.
Because Kate is on the Arts Commission. All right, Kelly, morning.
Good morning, Chairman Paul and Sir Board. Thanks for having me. I'm Ellie Susness, the Chair of the Sandpoint Arts, Culture, and Historic Preservation Commission. And Commission has voted to recommend continuing the Downtown District Public Art Program known as the Silver Box Art on Loan Project for 2026. This cycle would entail a spring install of 3 new pieces of public artworks on the 3 existing boxes. The ACHPC recommends a loan timeframe of 1 year with a stipend of $1,000 for each artist chosen. Additional funds would be for plaques for the artworks. We will be using our commission staff, city website, media, and community arts organizations to promote the RFP and call for art at no cost to Sura. So we are requesting $3,500 this year for the Silver Box project, and we'd love to have your support.
So to remind the commission, we have a outstanding remaining balance committed for the Silver Box. It's $3,684.68. So this is within the.
Any other
To approve.
questions?
Commissioner Perry, motion.
I second that motion.
Mr. Welker, second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Again, another presentation from Ellie.
So we have the Sandpoint Arts, Culture, and Historic Preservation has also voted to recommend purchasing a sculpture for permanent installation on the southwest corner of Cedar Street and Second Avenue. You can see the visual up on the screen. When the city was designing downtown revitalization phase 1, the Art Commission was involved in planning reinforced concrete pads on 3 corners of Cedar Street in anticipation of placing art in those spaces. We would like to budget $20,000 of Sura Art funds with an additional $2,500 match coming from the Idaho Community Foundation Honor County Arts Enhancement Grant, which is supported by the Gretchen Heller Trust. We would be using our commission, staff, city website, media to promote the RFP at no cost to Sura. And I have a draft RFP ready, prepared, ready to go once we've procured Sura and council's approval to proceed. So you'll see right next to the garbage can, there are a smaller grid of cement, which is where that reinforced pad is. And we've actually got one down the street opposite the winery. And we've got one even 1 block further that is on the southwest corner opposite of the Connie entrance. So we're thinking ahead. This is going to be our first sculpture on Cedar Street. We've been planning this since phase 1, obviously. So we're ready to go and we would love your support on this.
So to remind the commissioners, the downtown arts fund balance, which includes the $3,000 for the Silver Box project, but the downtown arts fund has $242,628.85 committed to art. So there is ample funds to support this project should we approve it. Commissioners, have any questions of Ellie? Hearing none, I will now entertain a motion to allocate 20,000 in downtown arts funds to the Second Avenue and Cedar Street Art Project. Motion,
I so move.
Commissioner Sabella. Second, Commissioner Perry. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? None, motion passed.
I just want to say thank you to the SOAR board for always supporting public arts.
Well, thank you for your work.
No further business for the meeting. Yeah, thanks, everyone.
Nice.